Hey dudes. Hopefully you can see me this time, because I remember last time that was an issue. But welcome to, what am I calling this? Saturday Morning Toy Tunes. That's right, it is the cacophony of geeky goodness that kind of tries to replace the late and lamented Saturday Morning Toy Tunes that we all relied on so much when we were kids. At least some of us did. Some of you actually... Oh, shit, really? There's no audio? How about now? How about now? Can you hear me now? I should have audio. Was it just too quiet? Can you hear me now? Are we good? Might have to, yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, Steve. Good save, good save. 1 second, everybody. I have had the tightest morning, schedule-wise, that I've ever experienced. I mean, I legitimately got up at 7:30 and I've gotten so much done, which is just not like me at all. And everything was just like, the schedule was just super, super tight. Got up, fed the dogs, cooked the fish for the dogs before feeding the dogs. Took the dogs outside, made a cup of coffee, got all the way down to Lafayette Square Park, which is about 20 minutes away from here, and got my dogs their pedicure and drove all the way back. Didn't think I was going to make it because people just this morning have this unwillingness to break the speed limit. Fools. Morning music. Thank you, Keith. Always count on you to remind me about the music. Just let me finish pouring my coffee here. And my second cup of coffee. And then I will turn on the actual Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, which is half of the reason why this live stream has its name. So... let that thing ferment. Oh my god, I just put my hand on the bottom of a hot coffee pot. Ha! I'm hardcore like that. Turn that down because I know it's too loud right now. And shuffle! There's some new tunes in here, so I'm kind of excited about that. Alright, let me just put this pot someplace. And oh my god, I'm out of control. So, hey everyone. Now I'm ready to start. I probably should have just been late. Yeah, remind me of that next time. Just be late. Just show up late. Don't try to, don't try to force the issue. Force. See what I did there? Because we're going to talk about lightsabers today. At least a little bit. So yeah, just a few things to cover. Yeah, we're going to talk about lightsabers. I'm basically just going to show off my collection of lightsabers, but if you guys wanted to talk about anything lightsabers, this would be the episode in which to do it. I have questions. I always have questions, but I have questions about lightsabers, and I would just like to have some of them answered. In addition, as always, I just have a couple of quick rules for those of us just now joining for the first time, and I'm probably going to have to repeat it a couple times throughout the course of the live stream because people will join later and not know. But seriously, I didn't come here to talk about work, so any and all questions pertaining to Sideshow and the inner workings of Sideshow will be politely ignored. And also, due to my affiliation with Sideshow, I cannot discuss or can't entertain questions or comments regarding unlicensed figures or custom figures. They have good reason for that. It's not their thing. It's coming down from even above their level. So I can't talk about that. So please do me a favor and keep that in mind when you're asking your questions. And if you do so, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Also, yeah, music. Why are we not hearing music? Because I know I hit play. It says it's playing. Oh, my speaker's not up? My speakers aren't plugged in. I thought I was doing so good today. There we go. Loud noises, loud noises, loud noises. Music! Ideally. Allegedly. Yeah, there we go. Okay, who's happy? I'm happy. I've got music now. I've got donuts. So many donuts. I went all in on the messy stuff today. I decided I would because I'm starting the show late, I decided that I'd go ahead and entertain you all by getting a mess all over my mustache and beard and whatnot. So I have a custard-filled, chocolate-covered thing. I've got another one of those cherry cream cheese tarts that I had last week, my usual blueberry cake, and an apple fritter. Already making a mess. That didn't take long. All right. So that's it. Show's over. Bye, folks. Thank you. All right, so without further ado, I want to see who's here. I can see we got a fairly good amount of activity going on in the chats. I'm just going to go all the way back up. Wow, all the way back up. Looks like there was quite a bit of pregame. Everybody just tuned into the regular time, huh? Keith Lee is here. Brandy Woods is here. David Lencher is here with his uncannily inaccurate comments regarding me. That brings up an interesting point. I know I'm not going to be talking about work, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that I noticed that there were a lot of really nice comments in Sideshow's, in the comments for Sideshow's YouTube videos this week. And some of them were from you guys, and I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for giving the shout out. It's really, really cool. Wow, so Steve Nara is still rocking the coconut cupcakes. You might compel me to travel, my friend. You might compel me to travel. I love reading everybody's comments when they're actually talking to each other. Pierre P is retracting messages. Is that you, Pierre? Or is that your Floridian offspring? Yeah, your Floridian scion. There's got to be another way to put that. Your Floridian spawn. Let's call it that. I'd like to think that if I had kids, I wouldn't have children. I wouldn't have offspring. I would have spawn. That's right. Okay, everybody's saying hi to each other. That's good. Everybody likes each other here. It's one of the reasons I keep coming back. Wonder who's next to leave. Oh. We'll see. Yeah, everybody's busy with work, dude. I have so busy with work right now. It's not even. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Everybody's saying everything's okay with the audio. Everything's good. It is very much a cold morning in St. Louis. Thankfully, typically we have to wait outside at the groomers to get the dogs. Yeah, while we wait for the dog's turn. But fortunately, they let us into the shop today, so that was very kind of them. My friend Kevin Weideman is in the house. Hello, Kevin. How's it going, dude? I haven't heard back on that guy about the life-size Han and Carbonite that you and I are gonna maybe do a timeshare on. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Desmond Hassing is here. That's great. There's going to be some great discussion going on. Hopefully there's something that intrigues Desmond in here, and he can provide some seriously cool counterpoints. Allison Lee, Allie Lee wonders who seriously drives the speed limit. I don't know. People who aren't in a hurry. Forgot to stir my grounds after I poured them, so there's like a nice funnel of grounds leading down into my hot mug of coffee. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna. How am I gonna do this? Empty box. Cool, let's just do that. Over there. I hope that box was empty. There's probably like a priceless 6-scale figure in it or something. Speaking of which, I reposed Arena Fett. And this isn't exactly the lighting scenario to show it off. But, here, let me just grab it. You might be able to see enough of it to make it worthwhile. And I already have a pile of 6-scale figures on the desk, so it's kind of crowded. But I was talking to somebody about using as reference classical sculpture. So I'm just like, I wonder if there's any sculptures out there of dudes holding spears. So I just took the greatest hits of a couple of them and just did something like this with Arena Fett. And I think it works pretty well. Just imagine, like, looking up at it, for instance. And just imagine that it's a statue that someone has erected somewhere in homage to this great arena warrior, this great Colosseum gladiator who had like the record number of wins and whatnot. So, but just casual stance, just at the ready, confident, and yeah. I'm gonna put that back because I just also found out how valuable this thing is, and I'm really not anxious to break it. This tune actually has a really cool arena vibe to it. Anyway, let's continue down the comments here really quick before I get into lightsabers. Because I actually have to put some of them together. I didn't have time to put the blades on them this morning, so I'll be doing that while I talk to you. We don't talk about Sideshow. No. Oh, did that thing where it jumps again. I love that. That means I'm way behind, and Facebook, YouTube is trying to prompt me. Fanatics must be in California still because he's talking about Santa Ana wins. Yeah, man. I actually might be heading out to California because just got a notification that somebody moved out of my house out there, and one of the units in my property, and it needs to be repainted. And they're going to charge $2,000 to paint a studio apartment. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm going to fly out there, because I fly for free, and domestically. And I'm going to paint it. Shit. Nobody tell Guy. Fuck. I was supposed to keep that a secret, because I might be showing up live somewhere. But anyway. I totally just blew the secret. Okay. There's no point in doing it now, so never mind. That's just gross, John. I also don't think I knew you were in Chicago, so that's cool. That means that if there's ever a convention up there and I decide to make the trip, that we can get together. Keith Lee, it was actually an Amazon box, and I'm pretty sure that what was in it is no longer in there. If not, it's going to be coffee stained, and that's all right. It's not all right. Oh God. Fat Batman's collecting Nightmare grew up in Missouri. That's cool. Wait, KCMO. Is there somebody named KCMO in here who's from Missouri? That's cool. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I get that. That was kind of the drive there. Patrick Sinamore is here. The way I sound that, it sounded like I was saying "say no more." Sorry once again for butchering your lovely language. Brandy Woods, if Brandy Woods is here, she's also in Montreal. So I've got a lot of Canadian viewers, and I like that, because I've never met a Canadian I didn't like. Mind you, I've only met about, I don't know, 20, not including the ones online. And it's a pretty big country. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you guys right now that I'm so far behind already in comments, and I know that I'm not going to get to everybody's, and I apologize for that. We do want to try to keep this thing under 2 hours, preferably around an hour and a half. Yeah. Tommy D. Everybody likes my, I'm just gonna put all that up there. Everybody seems to like the pose on the Arena Fett. And now we're PG-13. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. And I'm just going to go ahead and try it while I'm talking here. I'm going to go ahead and try to include, because something else I didn't have time to do was to add some photos to, let's see, did I download them? Brandy, I'm a horrible friend. Newsflash. Yeah, Terry's a bad friend. Huh. I'm just going to go ahead and upload this. Just because. I definitely need an intern. Wouldn't you say? Yeah, definitely need an intern. The cool thing about having the music is that dead air becomes less of an issue. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that this happens. Yeah, cool. Oh. I have no idea what's happening here. There we go. Yeah, I'm totally lost at sea here. Okay, we're gonna add a photo. First, I'm gonna download the photo. So Brandy, it's just, I'll try to talk and chew gum at the same time here, something I'm not always good at. But Brandy Woods is taking on commissions for pet portraits. And she's remarkably good at it. So I'm just gonna show you guys here, if I can scroll it back to it, because our conversations are freaking prodigious. Just to say, yeah, just say that. We just chat for like days. Piper Brandy is going to be the name of this. I know I'm losing viewers left and right. I'm sorry that this is so dull, people. If you feel the need to tune out, go ahead, but hopefully it'll be worth it. If you stick around, at the very least, chat with each other in the chats, and I will have this little bit of awesomeness up and going in short order. Image. Piper Brandy. Boom. Discard. while we're there, man, again, I'm going to be talking about. Oh, there they are. While we're here, I'm going to be talking a lot about lightsabers. So if you have lightsabers, be they Hasbro or whatever, not unlicensed, then by all means, please let me know in the chats, and we can talk about yours, because you probably, if you do collect lightsabers, then you probably have at least one or two that I do not have myself. And I'm very, very curious to find out what everybody's opinions are of them, because my opinions of lightsabers kind of wax and wane. Some are better than others. Not all lightsabers are created equal. So there we go. That's that. Okay, so mission accomplished. We have the photo of Piper that Brandy Woods did. It's not a photo. It's actually a drawing. It's beautiful. And there it is. Look at her. Look at that. That is some quality stuff. And I've noticed that, you know, Laura Zombie is doing portraits of pets, and she's charging a freaking premium for them. But I think Brandy's are reasonably priced. And yeah, I think if you're looking for a gift for your favorite pet friend, or your favorite friend who loves pets, then it might behoove you to just go ahead and consider going to Brandy Woods' Etsy page, which I also happen to have a link to somewhere. And I'm going to drop in the chats if she doesn't. Hey, Brandy, go ahead and drop your Etsy page into the chats. I think I've got it set to do that. If not, well, guess what? Here it is. Boom. So it's all the way down there at the bottom. I can't see it, so hopefully it came up. I'm going to have a bite of donut because I feel like after that talking and doing photo thing, I deserve it. And I'm going straight for the cherry cheese crepe. Ugh. Orgasmic. So good. I didn't even swallow that. I didn't even chew that one. I just swallowed it. That's so lame. I have to work on that. All right. Looks like we jumped all the way down to the bottom here. That's cool. Wait a sec, Kerry. I think I realized it required... Oh. Yeah, all dogs look like Ewoks in the end, my friend. I think I've shown that enough, so let's go ahead and drop this back up. There we go. Hello! Yes! Gina B. Collecting coming out with a really great question. I'm trying to decide if I want to share that information. It's like magicians and tricks, my friend. I don't know. Alright, fine. Fuck it. This is what I've noticed. Now, there are a couple of guys here who, I'm just going to come out and say it, that I've been paying attention to TK421's YouTube channel lately, which is saying something, because a while back I was accused by a YouTube member of copying their stuff. So at that point I was just like, it's not even worth it for the drama. I'm just going to stop watching other YouTube channels. And I did. And I got the idea from Bill Maher. I found out several years ago that Bill Maher doesn't watch other comedy shows or other political shows. So frequently you'll see Bill Maher come on his show on Friday night, Saturday night, whenever it is. And he'll do a bit that's remarkably similar to something that, say, God, who else is on? That some other comedian talk show host did. And he's just like, I don't watch you guys' stuff, so how do I know? It's just an obvious joke. So somebody, if you tell a joke and somebody else tells the same joke, is it necessarily that you copied it, or that it was just such an obvious joke? I know there was that thing where James Corden just recently blatantly ripped off a Ricky Gervais thing. That wasn't his responsibility. That was some lame writer of his that heard that Ricky Gervais joke and wrote it in there. I have to think that was just nefarious. Like he was just trying to shame James Corden. And I just now realized that James Corden is remarkably close to James Gordon. That's Commissioner George Gordon for all of you non-Batman types out there. This live stream is ridiculously ADHD today. Oh. Seriously, y'all. I could totally take a vow of celibacy as long as I got these donuts. It's a very worthy substitute. Oh, yeah, very cool, Brandy. You also posted your what is the name of that website that you are on? I don't even know. Shit. I'm so bad. Grab some Buckley's, dude. It'll help. I don't even know what Buckley's is. I have no idea what Buckley's is. Anyway, so we were talking about photos. Gina B. Collecting And by the way, very kind of you and everybody else on that other live stream the other day too, that I happened to tune in for, over on Will's site. But very kind of you all to talk about the first looks and how you prefer those over blogger photos. That was very gratifying. We that came at just the right time. So we all, the entire team, appreciated that. So thanks for that. But we're talking about how to best light Arena Suit Fett. It's the same way that I light all armored figures that I participate in. They just need a little bit of help. The more metallic and the more high efficiency the surface area is of the armor or whatever, the more necessary it becomes to find ways to illuminate it that aren't harsh and help break it up from the background. Obviously, you're going to need to have some rim lighting going on, so you're going to need some backlights just bouncing off the back of it just to create that little halo of light around the figure. But that doesn't do much for what's going on the side and what's going on the front. So what I like to do is I like to implement the use of some white foam core. Just cut some white foam core sheets down to whatever size that you need. I just have mine at like 2x3. I think they're all 2x3, but for a 6 scale figure you could go even smaller. And then you just line the whole freaking area. If you can get it above, do that too. And it just creates that nice, it doesn't actually create light, it illuminates it a little bit, but what it does is it creates reflections, which are kind of the same thing. And once you've got that in place, then it creates those like nice little white squares and the reflective surfaces of it all. And just experiment with that a little bit and see how that works, because that's how I do it. In fact, I'm planning on this weekend actually doing at least one photo of that figure. I think I'm just going to do one photo of it on a black backdrop using exactly the maybe I should make a video of it. Maybe I should record myself doing it. Yeah, that could be helpful. That could be valuable for people. Anyway, moving right along. Josh McCoy thinks my puppy is adorable. Thank you, Josh. I do too. She's very, very blind. She's like a Roomba. Very much like a Roomba. Yeah. Tommy D agrees that portrait of Piper by Brandy is amazingly lifelike. I'm floored by it. I've seen the progress that she's been doing while she's been prepping samples for to show off to people, to show what she's capable of, and I can legitimately tell you that every single thing that she's producing is incrementally better than the previous effort. It's like she's already great, but every single one that follows it is just brilliant. So anyway. Let's see. There have been more undonating. Yeah, well, that's because I'm not getting much in the way of product, dude. I've like everybody, I'm experiencing the pains of inflation. Not only that, but there's potentially a loss of income coming my way. So I need to be careful about what I spend and what I buy. Yeah, Connor, this is I've never really advertised this as a live unboxing video. These are just live streams. The whole point was just to gather with a bunch of people and chat. It all started back on Facebook. I was bored one day. My hair was wet from a shower. I was icing down my knee from an injury. And I was just sitting on my desk with nothing to do. And I just said, I'm going to go live on Facebook, see who bites. I was expecting friends from like back home or friends from St. Louis to just maybe chime in one or two, and instead what I got was all these great people from the collecting community. Most of them coming over from Paul Sun-Hyun Lee's Bitter Brigade on Sunday nights, which kind of creates like the bookends for the bread for the weekend sandwich. That is me on one. I'm the bottom part of the bread, and Paul's the really cushy top of the bun. Yeah. So yeah, if you're coming here looking for unboxings, you might get lucky. But just come here expecting to hang out. This is just like chill Saturday morning vibes. Think of it like brunch, only with donuts and coffee instead of omelets and juice. And by juice, I do mean mimosas. I think they are. Actually, I think my heater's up too high. I'm actually starting to sweat. Mike Games, great photo that you posted last night of your family getting ready to go see the Ghostbusters movie. That was awesome. I caught that on Facebook. No, it was not your Christmas present. Sorry. KC, Kansas City. I think I'm all caught up. No, I'm not. No, I'm abysmally not caught up. Speaking of Paul Sun Hyun Lee, I just gave you a shout out, brother. Not sure if you heard it, but I can do it again. The man is in the house. Bitteration Dude Incorporated. Check out his YouTube channel because when he's done moving and getting and all dealing with all that crap, then I'm sure he's going to be anxious to get back into showing off his new geeky basement, and we're all excited to see it, aren't we, Polly? Not least of all you. I'm sure you're ready for it. I should start thinking about my own geeky basement. I'm going to have to sell off a bunch of stuff just to make room for things to happen in that geeky basement. But I do imagine a bar. Oh, look at that. Nice. From TK421 Collectibles, $4.49. I think that's yeah, that's nice, man. Thank you. £4 and 49p. That's great. Appreciate that. For all of you who know, for all of you who are into it, right, the super chats are always appreciated. They go into helping maintain things like the music on the channel, and depending on how much we get, who knows, there might be, if there's enough left over to pick something up for a giveaway, I do have every intention of doing that. So where was I? Paul. Yeah. My plan is to get a bar going on down in the basement, or at least it was. I'm not drinking now, so it's like, why do I need a bar? For guests, obviously. I know that's the obvious answer. But I did happen to, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin my chances of getting it, but I've got some lines that I've cast out trying to acquire a certain rare and really expensive collectible. I don't think that I'm going to wind up getting it. I'm pretty sure that people are going to outbid me on it. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Everybody saying hi to Paul? Ah, here we go. I'll have to look for that, AJ. I'll have to look for that. Or maybe you could send me a link. Are we Facebook friends? Anybody interested in friending me on Facebook, feel free to send me an invite, but you should also probably message me because I do vet my friendship invites on Facebook if it's just to find out if you're crazy. Or and if I can't, if your Facebook page is on lockdown like mine kind of is, like if you don't have any public posts, then I'm probably not going to accept the invite because I keep thinking that you're a robot. So do me a favor, send me a message, let me know that you're not a robot. And yeah, we'll become Facebook friends. My Facebook page is kind of entertaining. Holly Smith is here, or West. Wow. Hopefully that wasn't like a Freudian thing. I bought a custom dueling lightsaber. See where he goes from. Oh, what did we say? What did we say? Yeah, no customs. Sorry. Have a few Hasbro. Recent Elite Series and got quite a few Galaxy's Edge ones. Yeah, those Galaxy's Edge ones, man, I like them a lot, but they're kind of hit and miss, aren't they? Oh, that reminds me. That's one that I didn't pick up. Bring it over here. Hold on. And we can actually show off our first saber of the live stream, and this is it. I can't believe I'm starting the show with this, but here we go. This is focus. This is the Ben Solo lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge. It's a legacy saber. Obviously, it was limited. I'm not sure if it's still available. It's visible in the movies in Episode 8 for a blink and you'll miss it moment as he reaches out to it with the Force and pulls it over to himself so that he can do battle with Luke Skywalker in that scene that's told over and over again from 3 different perspectives. And by the way, that was brilliant. And this is basically what became the tri-saber. You can see the similarities going on here with the base of the hilt, and he just built the little crossguard things right here. So it's very much the same. It was just, I'm not sure why he had to modify it so heavily with all the exposed wiring and everything when he became Kylo Ren. Maybe just to be edgy. He's so goth. He's so goth. He's so emo. He's not even goth. He's emo. He wants to be goth. He's emo that wants to be goth. Are emos just basically want to be goths from another time period? I don't know. Discuss amongst yourselves. Speaking of discussing amongst myself. Donut porn. I'm just gonna stop even trying to keep my face clean while I do that. Mr. Imagination thinks we should turn the basement into a cafe. I kind of like that idea, but okay, I could do both. I was just thinking that if I turn it into a cafe, then I basically have to go down to the basement every time I wanted to fix some coffee, but that's not true. I can still make I can make coffee in 2 different locations at my house. That's true. Keith Lee with a super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. That's going to keep us in music for a little while longer. Much appreciated. This is true, everybody. This is true. I loved the video. I watched the video yesterday about DTOFs. And something you said resonated with me, and it's how you talk about how you don't watch any of the big channels. And I think that's a solid choice. Like I was saying earlier, I made a conscious and informed decision to stop watching YouTube channels entirely, and it wasn't until I started hanging out with you guys, that I started paying attention to the smaller, lesser-known YouTube channels, like Boston Collectors, like TK421, like Bitter Asian Dude. Just kidding, bro. You know your channel's massive, and it's awesome. I gotta say, man, there's some real value there. There's some real value there, because it's like a no-drama llama, right? It's seriously, there's just no drama that's going on in any of these things. There's just enthusiasm for the product. Nobody's trying to one-up anybody in these smaller YouTube channels, and I dig that. For me, that's where the money is. The metaphorical money, obviously. I'm not making any money off of pimping TK421 and Boston Collectors, but or even Bitter Asian Dude. I just feel like you have to know what you're looking for, and if drama is your thing, and you want to go hang out with people who like to create drama, then go ahead and do it. But I'm just not into that. Yeah, so. Oh, dude, I love that. I love that. And we could have like fake spiders all over the place. Like we could have like a coffee drink that would have like a fake spider in the bottom of the mug. So every time you drain your coffee, there's a spider there at the bottom. Dude, wow. It's a house of horrors that I'm generating here. Melissa K is here from Sweden. Hello, Melissa. It's always good to see you. You've been here before, right? I know you from Polly's live streams. But I can't recall if you've ever been here before. Save the drama for your mama. That's going to be a t-shirt. Let me write that down. One of these days I will generate t-shirts. I swear to you. Speaking of future plans for the channel, I did just confirm with a friend. It looks like I'm going to have my first virtual guest here on the show. It's going to be happening in the next week or two whenever he can make time on a weekend. And also whenever I can sort out exactly how to bring somebody in to have 2 people featured on a channel on OBS. I'm sure there's a process, and it's just going to involve watching some YouTube videos. But anyway, let's show off another lightsaber. Yes, that fateful night in the Star Wars universe. Speaking of which led indirectly to this fateful night. I've shown this on the channel before, but there's enough new people here where they may not have noticed. This is the Hasbro Black Series Rey lightsaber from the end of The Rise of Skywalker, obviously manufactured from bits and pieces of her staff. And it has a cool... I actually don't know which one is which here. Let's see. I've got multiple blades here. Okay, I think this one has got to be Rey's, right? Because the colors seem to match here, so... I'm just going to go ahead and try to make this blade work with this hilt and see if it slides in and locks into place. Oh, and it does. Cool. So you just slide it down in here. And then you bring in this little piece right here and boom. See how that popped up? Yeah, it does that cool little thing there. So when you slide it in, drop it down. And that's it. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. You're good to go. And of course, unlike the one that you get at Disney, you turn it on by doing that. You actually flick the switch. It's a dial switch right there, and it actually does work. Yeah, and it's got a nice orange glow. You can definitely see the individual LED elements. I know that there's a bunch of custom saber makers out there that are using a different means of illuminating the sabers, and it looks amazing. It's super bright. And Paulie, you're a lightsaber guy, so you probably know a fair bit about that. So yeah, this one's a favorite. Yeah, very cool, right? Just to show you how that works again, let's go ahead and focus on that. And watch the flicker. There's like a flicker that occurs in here, and that's screen accurate. I don't think it showed up. Where is it? Oh god, there's like fucking dog hair all over it. I'm such a slob. Alright. Yeah, for some reason it's not showing up down there. There's supposed to be some light effects showing up down there, like flashes green and then blue and then it goes to gold. Which I suppose is a metaphor of some sort. Because most things are these days. And I applaud that. Metaphors. Speaking of metaphors, what's a good metaphor for this apple fritter that I'm about to take a bite of? Where was I? Still love you. Still love you. It's cool. You know, I should have considered that before I actually did a video featuring lightsaber talk, because no, I'm not supporting or anything when I say this, but the fact of the matter is that the aftermarket unlicensed lightsaber thing is huge. And I'm genuinely surprised that Disney hasn't pounced on it. I'm genuinely surprised. So we'll see if that happens. Lane Kramer with a really solid question. I have a really solid answer. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Woke up, immediately ordered it, and yeah, for the price, I mean, it comes in cheaper than a bark speeder. For the size, I don't know. If size is any indication of value, then yeah, I mean, I got to play with the prototype at I got to be in the presence of the prototype at Comic-Con, and it's huge. It's massive. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm not going to miss out on it, because I did notice that the bark speeders are already on waitlist, despite the fact that their age is out. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'm not going to take that same chance. Why Hasbro is not making a vintage collection X-Wing with a Carson Teva action figure? We all want to know that, Hasbro. We're watching you. We're watching you. We need that figure in our lives. Polly agree. Polly totally agrees. Wow, I've skipped down. Oh yeah, dude, I've got that. Yeah. Can't I find the button? It's like, whose lightsaber is this anyway? Look at that. There's that very, very awesome sound effects to it. And I love how this reads in video. It doesn't read this well in person. You can again see the individual LEDs in it, but on film, on camera, it looks really, really cool. Look at that hilt too. Let's just hold that up there and yeah, clear that comment out of the way, just to get a better look at it. But it's very, I think it's one of the better produced of the lightsabers from Hasbro. They really showed some love to it. A lot of people are hating on what they call the flimsiness of the blade. Well, good luck trying to create a plastic blade that is like allegedly supposed to be razor thin on this, from this profile, and not have it bounce around when it's this like. Good luck with that, because you're just not going to have any luck. At least not for a decent amount of money. I suppose you could throw like a metal armature in there that keeps it from shaking, but then you got weight. You've added weight to the lightsaber. It's no longer as wieldable. You're not as agile with it, and also the weight for shipping. It's going to be much more expensive to ship. I told you to shut up. Lightsabers these days, I swear. Yeah, you do. It's really cool. And they're not sold out. I think they can be had for a pretty good price on Amazon too. So if you wanted free shipping with it, that might be a path to take. Mr. McPickle, no custom questions. Thank you very much. I can't talk about that. Thanks, Brandy. In fact, I'm just gonna let the mods call that out. If anybody in the future like brings up a question, if you could just let them know. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, so I'm just not gonna comment on them anymore. But just let them know, just gently, like that I can't talk about that. That'd be appreciated. You guys are great, by the way. It's like we had a flurry of activity one episode where there was some issues with porn. One of the porn bots showed up in the live stream, and I'm just like, I need moderators, and like several people raised hands. I'm just like, you're a moderator, you're a moderator, you're a moderator, you're a moderator. Everybody's a moderator. Yeah, dude, same. I was like 2 minutes late, so And I'm hosting the show. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's taken me way back. I used to have Master Replica's Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber hilt, and that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. It is a replica of the original shooting prop, which is why when I got to Comic-Con and I saw that I got to hold the Hasbro Obi-Wan Kenobi Black Series lightsaber in my hand, I'm just like, this thing's too fat. Not that I'm fat shaming the lightsaber, because I would never do that. Speaking of fat shaming, more donuts. There it is. Cherry juice in my mustache. Mm-hmm. It looks like I'm eating the hearts of my enemies, which I do. Yeah, I know, man. It's part of the reason why I get 4. My first lightsaber. I'm trying to think back to childhood now, because that might be relevant. I actually don't remember having an actual lightsaber as a child. So I guess you could say my first lightsaber was a broom handle. Yeah, that's probably true. My first actual lightsaber would have been the Master Replicas. What do they call them? The Force Effects lightsabers. I pretty much simultaneously picked up the Luke lightsaber, or I guess it was the Anakin lightsaber was the one that I got, the Episode 3 Anakin lightsaber, and the Darth Vader lightsaber. And it was great because there were these kids, God, there was Solomon and Demetrius, and I can't remember what the other kid's name. It was Demetrius's little brother, I believe, but they lived 2 houses down from me when I lived over on Arsenal in St. Louis. And I heard them outside playing, and I'd just gotten those lightsabers in, and I just walked out. They were outside just hanging out on their front porch. And I walked out, and I was in tight with all the neighborhood people and everything, and all the kids knew me. And I walked out, and I had the sabers behind my back, and I just kind of like walked out casually, looking straight ahead. And then I just turned my head and looked over their way, and then I just pulled out the 2 lightsabers and lit them both up. And then, without missing a beat, all 3 boys just jumped off that porch. One of them jumped over my neighbor's fence, and somebody else just, the first thing out of somebody's mouth was, "I call red." So I basically handed these lightsabers over to the neighborhood kids and let them play with them for an hour. That was fun. That was fun. Those were good days. Yeah, I remember those. And I'm thinking that maybe I did have one of those, but man, for some reason, it's just not sticking in my head. It's not. I don't know why. I also have Ahsoka Tano's lightsaber, which is gorgeous. It's one of my... This might be my favorite. Because I don't feel like it's fat. I feel like they got the diameter right on it. And... I mean, obviously, it's a lightsaber that has not to this date existed in live action. It's only been an animated lightsaber, and they changed the size of them for every shot. I've noticed that it was most obvious that they did that with the Kanan Jarrus saber. And Hasbro, that's one I would pay money for. But this one requires a special tool to get into it, and I don't think I have it on my desk. I'm not sure what I've done with it. It's probably in one of these drawers. And I think people watching have probably had enough of people have probably had enough of watching me find things in this mess of a live stream that I've created today. But you have to insert this tool down there to unscrew the element, and yeah, that actually does light up right there. You can see it makes a little sound. So yeah, so when I think they all do that when the blade isn't plugged into them. I'm not going to make that gesture again. When the blade's not plugged into them. And then you would slide this decidedly dusty blade into it. Look at that. Gross. Yeah. Yeah, so that's fun. I'm talking. Let's talk more coffee. That should be what you all are, Brandy Woods, I think we are NC-17 now. I've done it. I've really kicked it over the edge that time. Yeah, I know. I know, and actually my neighbor Jay, he and his family went down there, and I was poised. I was on the cusp of just because he said that he picked something up for me. I could just Venmo him the cash, and I was so ready. He was texting me from down there. I'm here right now. Do you want him? I'm like, yeah, but no. Okay, go fine. I don't need him. Honestly, I've got such little room here that I really don't even know where I'd put them. Again, if I ever do a collection room video, I think people would be shockingly surprised by how few 6-scale figures, especially, I have on display, and how few of them are actually protected by DTOFs. Most of them are actually on open shelves, and that's not ideal. I get it, but I just don't want to buy more. Since they jacked the price up on DTOFs. And is it DTOFs or DTOVs? Like wolves versus wolves? We have a Swede in the house. Melissa K. What's the plural of DTOF? Yeah, Desmond Hastings right there with me. You make do, bro. You made do back then. Yeah, okay. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Just keep scrolling down. Yeah, that's really, really, really cool. Like they did that thing with was it the Obi-Wan Kenobi sabers that they did, or was it the I think it was the Obi-Wan Kenobi sabers. They did that gorgeous box set for Comic-Con that I was completely unaware of. Otherwise, I would have picked that up. No matter the price. No matter the price. There's certain things that you're just willing to pay whatever for, and that's something that I would have happily dived into. By the way, how about that Bo-Katan figure? I know I'm opening up a can of worms, but oh, okay. That's yeah. There I go thinking like an Englishman or an American or whatever. But yeah, that's true. I don't know much about Swedish, but I do know. But I had heard that. I just forget stuff. All right. So, what else was I going to talk about today? Does everybody have a favorite lightsaber? I mean, it doesn't have to be a lightsaber. Like, which Jedi or Sith has your favorite lightsaber design? I have to think about that one. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and show this one off, too, while you guys are throwing out some answers there. But see this? I think I've shown this off on the show before. So, bear with me for those of you who have already seen this. But, and I know Paulie has, because I know he's commented on it. But this is my mock-up, man. I bought a DTOF flash handle and built my own Luke Skywalker saber I just picked and chose different elements from different movies and different stunt sabers and whatnot, just to make it my own. And like this part right here is backwards, should be flipped around. I screwed that up, and because of the decision that I made to have the T-Trax butt right up against the clamp, I can't undo it without shaving down the T-Trax like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, which would again make it not screen accurate. That's the kind of thing that you would do when building a Graflex saber if you wanted to have access to the internal components, if you were building actual electronics into it. But because I just wanted to have basically what amounts to the actual prop in my house, then I didn't do that, and I made a mistake, and now I'm permanently paying the price. But it's cool because if anybody steals it and tries to sell it on eBay, I'll know it's mine, because only I would be stupid enough to do that. How do I display my lightsaber collection? Any way that I can, my friend. And that just reminds me, I think there's another one back there somewhere. Nope, I'm wrong. I thought I had one up on that hodgepodge shelf that I have above my X-Men, but I do not. There's a question. Who's playing the new Pokemon? I didn't even know about the new Pokemon, so this is news to me. So discuss amongst yourselves while I take another bite out of this donut. I can't believe I just ate that donut while that dramatic music was climaxing. Brandy, am I right? It always happens with that song. I'm always doing something really weird. Like, not really dramatic, but perversely anti-dramatic while that music is playing. Going with the classic, baby. Going with the classic. Yeah, that's it's cool. And back then, I've actually heard artists say, yeah, those guys at Lucasfilm and back in the day, they were just lazy. They were just putting stuff together. I'm just like, nah, I wasn't lazy. They were just making things work. And it did benefit to that whole used universe thing. But in point of fact, this is not very, very comfortable to wield. So I could see why they decided to go with the more streamlined, for instance, of just a machined aluminum, which in reality, even in a used universe scenario, that's exactly what would have happened. I could see this being a thing for a Jedi in exile who didn't have access to the material components necessary to craft a beautiful lightsaber, like what we saw. God, what comes to mind? Well, like pretty much any of them from the prequels. I mean, they were all very beautiful designs. But then I think of, say, this one again. I mean, this kind of harkens back to what they did with the with Luke's and with Obi-Wan's. It's just assembled from whatever components that she had laying around. She just made it her own. And I will never stop loving that sound. I will never stop loving that sound. Seriously. John Galgano likes Ahsoka sabers from Rebels and Mando. So do I. So do I. I really dig the fact that they went with the katana style. I guess I'm not really great with the terminology of Japanese weaponry, but yeah, just that overall look of just having the curved hilts and whatnot. I love that a lot. Oh, AJ likes the Return of the Jedi saber. Obviously, kind of an homage to the Obi-Wan saber. Obviously, kind of along the same shape and design, the same silhouette. I dig that. Vader Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I've held one of those in my hand. Not a prop, but like I think it was like a Master Replicas one. So I guess I haven't really held one in my hand. Ignore me. Ooh, that's a thought. That's a good thought. That's great retconning, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. At what point in Clone Wars did he have that lightsaber? Because I know he had the machined aluminum one that he had at the end of Attack of the Clones, but did he just have to legitimately, like, right when the Clone Wars began, he had to just assemble something from spare parts? That's an interesting thought. That is an interesting thought. I'm just not sure how practical it would be, because yeah, you know what it reminds me of is the Iron Throne in Game of Thrones, about all those blades and how it's meant to be a reminder of how dangerous it is being king, for instance, and it's kind of like along that same line of thought. I really dig that notion, but I think ultimately, especially at time of war, then that's going to become more of a hindrance. You are going to want to have every advantage when you're going into battle. Maybe something ceremonial, then you would do that. Yeah, but I like the idea. Steve Nara agrees with the Ahsoka thing. Going back down to Holly West. Yeah, Darth Maul saber is actually one of my personal favorites. I just love all the lines, all the intricate elements that just kind of create. It's almost like a heat sink kind of a quality that wraps around both ends of that blade. It's something I've never owned. I've never actually gone out and picked up a Darth Maul lightsaber, and it's something that's always been on my bucket list. So maybe one day. That might be my next saber. Sorry for the shaky. I bumped the drawer that's sitting here. I opened up a drawer so that I could lean my lightsabers against it and they wouldn't fall over, and I could reach out and grab them. Yeah, dude, that's a really unique sound, isn't it? Really unique. That's kind of redundant, but still, that's just a unique sound that. And I like it when that happens, because you think that your general everyday lightsaber is going to have a sound that's recognizable, and they mostly did. There were some slight modifications. Vader's saber sounds slightly different from Luke's saber, which sounds slightly different from Obi-Wan's saber, or does it? Those two might have had similar sounds. And then, of course, you get Darth Maul's saber, and they talk about how they use like chainsaws to just create that, that really unique sound. Really unique. There I go again. That you got when he was spitting his blade. It just made it sound more deadly and more frightening. Rey's saber, this sounds different than any other saber that ignites in my collection. Yeah. Oh, the Cal Kestis lightsaber. Yeah, I don't have one of those. And if I did have one of them, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. I know. They make one now at Galaxy's Edge. And that's another one that's on my list. I would love to have that. That's very true. He would say that. But, again, that's an ideal. We're talking about an ideal here versus the practical realities of being a general in time of war. If let's just assume, for the sake of my argument, that that making a lightsaber hilt that's difficult to wield in combat, if it does, let's just say for a second that it does affect your ability to combat battle droids and the Separatist army. Let's just say that it significantly reduces your ability to fight. It's not just you who is in danger. You're also the protector, not just of your own troops, but of any civilians that happen to be in the area. They depend on you to be at your best and actually be able to efficiently and effectively fight off this invading force. Again, practicalities are going to invade over ideals in every time of war. It just has to happen. What we're talking about here, something that has to be assembled in the middle of a fight, or in the middle of a battle, or in the middle of a war zone, then I can see it. Yeah, you just work with what you've got. But at the end of the day, you know, what's that guy's name? Masamune, that great creator of katanas and the Japanese sword maker. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think that's it. Yeah, he would probably agree with me. Oh man, we got a lot of questions rolling in. Yeah, again, Holly. Yeah, I'm gonna back Desmond up on the concept of it. I think it's an excellent idea, but yeah, I don't know that it would be for me. I would definitely be like, No, it's like when you see. I'm gonna go back to like Days of Thunder. Like Days of Thunder, man. When you got Tom Cruise and Robert Duvall working together to try to build up that race car so that it's actually fighting fit. You don't want to go into battle with just this hodgepodge piece of shit. You really want this effective racing machine to be you know, at your disposal. The same thing holds true. You can throw together, you can work with what you've got and everything like that. But in an ideal world, if you have all the resources in front of you, then you're going to generate the slickest weapon that you possibly could. That's got perfect balance and that you can really just go to town with. I don't know who missed that, but I posted a video of myself getting hit with a taser to my Facebook channel, so that's fun. There's got to be a way that I can show that here. I missed a comment by Tommy D, apparently. Thomas D, who may or may not be trolling Iteration Dude. Oh, is it something about the Count Dooku lightsaber? That's a good choice, Thomas. I was just telling Brandy Woods a story about how I ordered one of those from somebody down in Florida, and I got a tracking notice for it. I'm just like, great, my Count Dooku saber's on the way. And then I looked at the weight, and it's like a pound, or not even a pound. And when it arrived, I was like, something's up, something's rotten in Denmark. And when it arrived, it was legitimately an empty envelope. The dude had scammed me. He'd sent me a empty envelope so that he could post a tracking number and collect the money from eBay. Mr. Imagination likes John likes Return of the Jedi Luke in Episode 1 Maul. That's cool. Yeah, Patrick. It's mostly Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, let's just say it. It's all Empire Strikes Back. I think the silver tape might have been. Was that an Empire thing, or was that a New Hope thing? Thanks, man. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. I don't even know what Graflex flash handles are going for these days. I paid like $250 or $300 for it when I got. I think I paid $250 or $300 for it back in 2012 when I got mine. So man, I've had this for 10 years. It took me. I had the hilt for 10 years. It took me longer than that to build it up. Yeah, dude, definitely. It's you're basically just training with like a, I don't know, bow staff. Again, my knowledge of weapons is limited. Except Star Wars weapons. I'll definitely be your trivia night pal for Star Wars weapons. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That would be really, really cool. Like maybe something that predates, or maybe something that became a thing. I don't know. Yutori Hanzo, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking about that right now. Oh, there's gonna be a Twitch stream. Promises, promises. That's valid. That's valid. And it is strange that the unwieldy hilts did actually become a thing during wartime, which by my logic is a perverse direction for that to go, right? I mean, it just seems antithetical to, based on my thoughts on the matter. But that's fun. Oh, hey, Steve131. Are you new here? If so, welcome. Yeah. Just going to remind everybody of a few rules that, you know, I can't talk about Sideshow, can't talk about custom stuff, and can't talk about unlicensed stuff. So. All right, man. Awesome. Yeah, Dark Rays. I don't know, man. I wasn't really... When you talk about impractical, that whole... I can't even do it like with my chunk. That thing, I don't know, man. It just seems so... Again, it just seems so unwieldy. And like, would that even work? Would that even work? Because you'd have that natural break point. That's... How would that attach once it got down there? Are there clamps that like sink into it? I didn't see them. It just seemed like it all came together and you were expected to just hold on to it by the middle. I can see, like in the case of Cal Kestis' saber, where he assembled it in such a way that he could just crank it and just take them apart to perform these special moves. That works for me. I can believe that. But the Jedi Temple Guard saber, as it stands, I don't know. I don't know. Just had a thought. Anakin didn't put a human facade on his replacement hand. Maybe that hilt feels comfortable in a robot hand. Oh. Magnets, bitch. Yeah, I think maybe you might be. Maybe. Or maybe you're just trying to retcon stuff now. I don't know. Tell me, Desmond. What is? Which one is it? Aren't we all just trying to retcon stuff? At the end of the day, that's really what happens when there's something that pops up that's unexplainable for me. That's not explained. It's not unexplainable. It's just not explained. Then my brain immediately goes to work. Well, how would that work? And it's like a curiosity thing. I'm not just, you know, there's two ways of going about addressing something that's not explained in shows like Star Wars. You can be curious and just be like, well, how would that work? And then just start developing theories that may or may not fit the scenario. Or you can do what a lot of people do and just bitch about it on social media. Yeah. I know which one I prefer to do. I disagree. My house, my rules. Oh yeah, the forums totally escaped me, dude. I wasn't around for that when it became a thing, so I don't know anything about the forums. But possibly others would know about. You know, discuss amongst yourselves. Those of you who actually know, and I'll come up on that. Oh, a Ventress Double Blade would have been amazing. Oh, that's right, they did have that, didn't they? Yeah, it's got that great curve. Can do that again. Hold on. Yeah. Because we all like to make the lightsaber sounds when we're playing with our imaginary lightsabers. It's just the way things go. I mean, it's well documented that, what's his name? That Ewan McGregor did that when they were filming episode 1. They had to really work on him. Hey, you don't have to make the sounds, bro. We got that. And of course, he brought it up. And he talked about how, I'm drooling, so I must need a donut. Apparently, Rocky, like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky, when he was hitting the meat, was actually making the sounds of his fist hitting the meat while he was actually hitting the meat. Here we go. I'd rather use machine replicas instead. Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Is that really how you feel about that? Yeah, because I've got that. which I think you were in the house when I showed that off before. Because I bought this because I wanted to, my goal was originally to actually go out and find a working or a non-firing actual British Sterling submachine gun and convert it into an E11. Instead, what I did was I got an airsoft gun, and which is pretty much oh god, yeah. Just show it again, yeah. Just get that drool. I'm gonna drown Polly in drool today, folks. But for those who aren't aware, this is an actual, and I'm gonna have to cheat and look at it, but it's the M38A2 scope from a World War II era tank that they used as the scope on E11s. I bought about the same time that I first started building my my Graflex saber. I found this on eBay and was like, yeah, I'll take that very much. I don't know if it's gonna go on a DL44, if it's gonna go on an E11, but I'll probably find some use for it. But yeah, that's probably not a that's probably ideally the right thing, is to keep the antique safe, but I might be a little bit selfish on this. I might go ahead and do it because currently I just have a cheap plastic knockoff of it built onto my thing here, and it's even in the wrong place. It needs to be all the way up here. So this has to come off and it has to be replaced with this guy right here. Yeah, that'll be so much better. I feel like something else is missing too, but I gotta treat this thing better. It just stays on the floor right here by me. I'm gonna need another side table. I can't buy more tables. If I buy more tables, I just put more things on them. Ooh. What's this mean? The Terry Brooks episode 2 adaptation that Dooku was... Did Terry Brooks... Did he write the episode 2 adaptation? Did I know that? I don't think I knew that. I was a longtime fan of Terry Brooks back in high school and junior high, and just read all the Shannara books. Just devoured like the first, I don't know, 12 of them. Before I finally just got to be too much. I'm like, I can't even. We moved on to other things. I think we can both disagree on that, right? I mean, the blasters can be pretty damned elegant. We've got some elegant blasters out there these days. By the way, oh, that's cool. Bad Wolf Media says that Nick Gillard came up with the idea for lightsaber form so he could give everyone different styles in episode 1. That is really, really cool. And speaking of Nick Gillard, did you notice that he's releasing a lot of unreleased footage from those days, from episode 1, 2, and 3? Like behind the scenes stuff that was taken out of the films that never actually showed up, to my knowledge, never actually showed up in the behind the scenes features on the DVDs. And it's showing some cool stuff that didn't happen. Like totally restructured story stuff. Like Anakin was at the in the original shoot, Anakin was actually in Palpatine's office while the duel was going on with Kit Fisto and Saesee Tiin, and of course, you know, yeah, bad motherfucker. And originally it wasn't actually supposed to be God, I'm going to forget the name of the actor who plays Palpatine. Ian McDiarmid. It wasn't originally supposed to be Ian McDiarmid doing the battle. There was a stuntman who'd been trained to do the battle, and they were just going to replace his head with Ian McDiarmid's head. And they didn't do that, which is why it's just not very inspiring. But the choreography footage that Nick Gillard has published of this is incredible. It's off the chains gorgeous, and I'm just like, oh, I would love to actually see that put back into the film so much. That's what you meant when you actually said that. Okay. I skipped over that. Sorry, Ollie. Huh. Yeah, that's true. Has he had the same blaster throughout the show? Obviously not now because he just broke out of prison. But, oh, spoiler alert. Yeah. Seriously, can we just talk about Andor? I just published something to Facebook. I'm just baffled by the fact that if the rumors are true, then nobody's watching. Well, not nobody, but very few people comparatively are watching the show as compared with Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, pretty much any of the other Star Wars show. And I'm just like, I don't know. My thought on it is that, like, I just had somebody who replied to my post calling the pacing glacial, which I think is a gross overstatement. I wouldn't call the pace glacial. It's just slower than what we're used to in terms of pacing for the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, all that, where it's just like beat, 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 beat. That's far from formulaic, but it's definitely more condensed. And I really do feel like there's room in Star Wars viewership for a slower paced saga like what we're seeing here. Could they have taken this 12-episode season and crunched it down to 6? Probably. But it would have lost something. And it would have lost the thing that's making it special. And I think that Disney gets that, because despite the viewership, they've greenlit and are already shooting season 2. So they're fine with it. My friend Kevin's chiming in, so I got to support that. People watched the Book of Boba Fett and gave up on the Star Wars series in general. That's shameful, because Book of Boba Fett was good. It was good. It wasn't great. Andor is great. But I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett, and I found value in it. And I think, as I find value in all things Star Wars, except that, well, even the Christmas special gave us Boba Fett on that beastie with the Phase Pulse blaster. That's cool. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just puzzled by, because you get all these people. I'm gonna skip that track. You get all these people who you get all these people who are complaining now. It's almost like they're complaining now about Andor being too adult, and about being too. It's borderline auteur level stuff. Let's face it. It's great. Every set is gorgeous. Every shot is beautiful. In 4K, this whole thing looks stunning. The character is amazing. The acting is the best we've seen in Star Wars. I think that's inarguable. And yeah, nobody's watching it. But by the same token, so it's like the most adult Star Wars out there, and that's not good enough for adult Star Wars fans. And then by the same token, they'll turn around and bitch about Ewoks. I mean, it's like, Star Wars fans, do you guys know what you want? Because maybe you don't. I don't know. It's I don't know. Star Wars fans need an ethos. Seriously. Like, what do you want? What do you want to see? Or maybe I don't want to ask that, because quite frankly, do you want to ask the mob anything? Mob rule is not good. In anything. Governments, society, Star Wars. Yeah. Fan service, I don't have a use for it. I don't have a use for it. That was my biggest gripe about episode 9. I was like, I kept telling myself, there's no way they'll bring back the Emperor. All the ways that could have gone. All the ways that could have gone. See, okay, thank you, Mike, because I legitimately remember seeing something about that. But yet everybody's turning. I actually Googled it last night, trying to find ratings for Andor, and I couldn't find anything that didn't say, like, there was even an article posted 2 days ago, or maybe it was just yesterday, in which the creator of the show was just like, Andor is struggling to find its audience. But it's the number 3 show, most in demand right now, behind Tales of the Jedi and House of the Dragon. Which one is it? I don't understand. I do not understand. It's like nobody watching TV right now? Maybe that's it? I don't know. But you don't, though, Allie, though, do you? Because that's part of the joy that I get from it. I'm not just a Star Wars fan. I do like deeper material. I do like more character-driven dramas. I do like things that are a slow burn. I do like to take a break from watching all this pop culture stuff to watch something from Cannes, you know. And it's I'm far from being a film snob like my ex-wife was, but I do really enjoy watching just more humanistic material. that might actually give some insight into us as a species. And I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with the wording to describe it, but I feel like there's room for it in Star Wars, and I feel like we've got it here, and just nobody's biting, and I'm just shocked, and it feels kind of lonely, or at least it would if it wasn't for talking to you guys who are clearly on board of it with me, who clearly are on board with me. All right, that's good. Yeah. Rahul Kohli. We all know Rahul Kohli. He's a actor who plays in all those awesome horror TV shows, and who won an episode of Strike a Pose. Yeah. I'm just gonna let that ferment. I'm gonna duck. I love you, man. I love you so much. Yes, this is, yeah, okay. That's very basic, but it's also very true. It's still, I don't know, it just bothers me. I don't know, and I'm letting it get to me more than I should. It's like I'm putting my own shit on the line here. I'm just like what if nobody else likes this and I'm like the only one that likes it, what does that say about me? I don't know, you be the judge. Yeah, I don't want it to be a cliffhanger, right? It would be really, really cool just to be like, all right, yeah, we'll see. Dude, yeah, that would be really cool. I forgot all about that. Thanks for bringing that up. That's giving me something to look forward to and to freak out about when it actually happens. Because otherwise it would just be like, what's that? What's he doing? What's he got? Oh! Now I'm expecting it, so. I'm just going to scroll down here and see if Polly punched me back yet. No? Okay. Probably left. I stopped watching it, so I'm not sure how it builds or ends up. Oh, shit. Yeah, sorry, Allie. I keep forgetting. We do have a 1 week no spoiler preference here. I do my best not to spoil anything for anybody a week out, but people like Allie Allie's slow. We have to go check out that coffee joint, and we have to get a burger at the Golden Hoosier while we're at it. So, don't want to break you guys away too much from your awesome diets, but Golden Hoosier's some good stuff. They have great cocktails. Not that does me any good these days. Yeah, that's true. That's it. That's the thing is that you nailed it, because there was definitely the thing about the Mandalorian was that Grogu was the great leveler. It brought everybody to the yard, and everybody wanted to check out Baby Yoda. But there is no Baby Yoda here. And let's face it, we are living in some kind of dark times right now. So it's entirely possible that the general public's appetite for that sort of material has a little bit faded, just a fair bit, because there's just too much of it in the news. There's too much intrigue, political thriller, all that stuff. That's all in the news. And you're basically watching all that stuff unfolding in the Star Wars galaxy. Maybe people just don't want that. To which I say, too bad. You're getting it. Because I need it. I need it. Seriously, dude. I mean, that's inspired. That's inspired ship design and everything. I don't want to spoil it for Allie, or anybody else who out there who hasn't seen this last episode, but it's so good. I knew that it was good, and I kept thinking to myself, God, if only we could really see what this thing is capable of, because you saw hints of it kind of sprinkled throughout those early episodes. And to just see it really bust out, I'm like, oh. I don't know. If you held up Luthen's ship to me and the Millennium Falcon and said you could only have one, I don't know, man. I don't know. Luthen's ship is pretty amazing. Oh yeah, keep going, dude. Keep going. It only gets better. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, because yeah, we do know his fate, his ultimate fate. I mean, if you check out while you're watching it and just let it wash over you, just, just don't be an informed viewer. Just go in and just have the whole visceral experience of it all. Then yeah, the filmmaking, the writing, all that combines the acting, all that combines to just make you believe this guy's in mortal peril, despite the fact that we know that he doesn't die until the end of Rogue One. And hopefully you've seen that movie, otherwise I just spoiled it for you. To which I say, where have you been? Where was I? That is something I intend to do. My big binge for December is going to be Hawkeye, and I think that's going to be an annual thing for me. It's my new favorite Christmas movie. But yeah, at some point I will sit down and rewatch all of Andor and then follow it up with a Rogue One chaser. Well, then you're going to need more coffee. Yeah. That's a fair assessment, too. But again, it's like, and I was just watching an interview, an artist that I follow on Facebook, just posted to his Facebook page an interview with some dude that was talking about the direction that Hollywood is going in a way that flirted dangerously close with slapping wokeness upside the face. Which I'm not down with, but he does make some valid points in favor of it's in everybody's best interest, society's interest as a whole, for Hollywood to just focus on making good movies, telling good stories, and just letting the story dictate, choices in characters and et cetera, and just let the other elements fall where they may. That being said, I do welcome. What's the word I'm looking for here? Inclusion. I do think it's necessary, and I also think it's good business. But there has to be a happy middle ground. You can't make. Yeah, just gotta be very careful about where I go there. Never know who's watching. Anyway, yep. I'll give you that. Yeah, dude. I don't care if you won't make an enemy here, because I feel the same way. There's a reason why art house stuff isn't making millions of dollars. That's because the people who appreciate it are few and far between. I have theories behind that, and I'm sure there are probably well-documented theories behind that, and I'm comfortable with it. But other people who don't understand it, who don't get it, they may not be comfortable with it, so I'm just not going to bring it up. Yes. Yes, it's true. Is Luthen Corellian? If I knew, I've forgotten. Is he Corellian? That's interesting. He's such a hard ass. He's such a hard ass. That freaking speech to that ISB guy. Man. I mean, I know you all know what I'm talking about. Brandy Woods has been to the Golden Hoosier. Yep. She's seen it. What time is it? 10:55, 11 o'clock? Okay, it's about time to end the stream. Oh, no, it's not. I'm half an hour behind. Yes, Mandalorian is the classic Star Wars show. It's very much everything that the original source material was meant to be. I get that. And if anything, Andor is the departure. It's just the story that I always would hope somebody would have told at some point. And I know that I'm not alone in that. And apparently I don't know, it's just so good. Guys, if you're not watching it, please. Just give it a try. I mean, the guy did Jason Bourne. He did one of the Bourne movies. That's his pedigree. He's done some really quality shit. He's a solid filmmaker, and I think he understands how this kind of stuff would actually work in a real world scenario, as opposed to just like, taxation of trade routes. Okay, it's like 6th grade social studies class versus PhD level or master's level, maybe, I don't know, understanding of civics, civics, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yes, that's it, dude. I think you brought that up last week, if I'm not mistaken, or somebody did. It's it will be much easier for me to, as much as I'm loving it, watching it weekly, and for something to really draw me in weekly, it has to be pretty special, because I forget what happened in the weeks before. But that show has legitimately been so strongly on my mind after watching every episode that I've been able to retain more of it than I can from like your typical shows. Typically, I rely on those previously on blurbs So highly. Heavily. Highly, heavily. Ha! Right there with you. Right there with you. Yeah, let's, yeah, definitely. What is it? Because I feel like I've had it. Or no, you know what? I think you told me. Yeah, okay. I will. Actually, I would, but Kevin doesn't know this, but I haven't been drinking in over a month now. I stopped. Yeah, it was time. Yeah, I had to take at the very least a break, and that it may be a permanent break too, because I'm really just enjoying sobriety. It's been so great, and I've lost so much weight. My abs are back. No, I'm not going to prove it. Why are you asking me? Well, internal discussion from the Lee household. Oh, actually, I may be going out. I'm not going to say it again, but I may be taking a trip. Oh, skipping. Yeah, that's true. And I have compared it to the recent, in my head, I've compared it to the recent, shit, what was it called? Slow House? The Slow House, whatever it, man. Ah, there was that new TV show that just came out a few months back about these misfits, these failed spies in the British government who get consigned to this, basically it's a house full of spies who just failed, and they're just treated like shit by, what's his name who played Dracula and Commissioner Gordon. It's been a long time since I've forgotten somebody's name. But it's a great show, and there's also, of course, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which was a TV show that turned into a movie. But yeah, it's very much a British-style spy thriller, and I think that's what I love about it. There's many things that I love about it, obviously. Just like there's many things that I love about these donuts. I've been slacking on my donut eating. That's a hard no, man. That's a hard no. Here's what I saw there. For like a hot second, she was intrigued by his advances, but immediately realized that this dude's just a creep. And he is. He's a creep. Gary Oldman. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. But, yeah, he's very much a creep. Wow. What a freaking weirdo, dude. I've gone from... And I'm still really intrigued by this character. And I think he still might be my favorite actual character to watch in the show. I don't know, Luthen's... Well... Luthen's becoming more interesting. But he's really awesome, and Dedra obviously is awesome as well. But we have great villains here, and we have great morally questionable characters here. And it's just so rich. Yes, very much abs, yeah. Yeah. Not the abs that I had in... What year would it have been? Say 2011? 2012? But, yeah, I can at least see my abs now. A lot to be said for not drinking. Or not drinking every night. Yeah! Dude, Kino is just... What an arc. I saw a really cool, just brief clip of an interview with him recently, and he talks about it in detail. And his appearance on the show was a big surprise for me and a delight, and the fact that he got to play such a great character with a solid arc that occurred in such a microcosm of the show. I'm really happy for him. Met him once. I was at the Weta booth, and I was talking to the guy who at the time was kind of the head of Weta Collectibles. And Tim, he's left us. He had a skin cancer and he died a few years back, but so he's no longer with us. But I was having a conversation with him, and he just kind of like looked over my shoulder, and he's like, his eyes got really big, and I saw somebody walk up next to me, just like right next to me, and he reached out and he like slapped him on the shoulder, and I looked over and it was fucking Andy Serkis. And I'm just like, and I just went, holy crap! And he just turned and went, hey, how are you? Like, I'll just never forget the big shit-eating grin on his face, and just how delighted that he was just to like, because he wasn't, I mean, he was Gollum already, but not a lot of people. He still had the freedom to roam around Comic-Con and not be recognized by people, except obviously by me or pretty much anybody standing in the Weta booth, because it's the Weta booth. And it was just, that was my first or second con. I can't remember which one, and I was just so fucking delighted by it. Anyway. Yeah, and you know what? It actually translated for me over to comic books, which is why I don't buy floppy copies anymore, because I became so spoiled with the whole concept of binging and not having to retain, that I found that lack of retention transferring over to my comic book reading. So, I also think back when I was a kid, I had more time to reread things, so I was able to just go back, and if I couldn't remember what happened, I could pick up the previous issue and reread it and then go into the new one. And I just don't have time for that anymore. God, I've been working my way through a graphic novel of like 10 issues for a week now. It's like one issue a night. I just don't have the stamina anymore. And that's really what it boils down to. And that's my concern. It used to be, like, my knowledge about Star Wars up to this date has been pretty much encyclopedic. But that might be a stretch. But it's been pretty thorough. But now, because that's, at the time, up to a certain point, all we had were movies, and movies are easy to rewatch. It's easy to take 2 hours out of a night and rewatch a film that you love, but to take 12 hours out of your life to rewatch all of Andor, that's a commitment. That's a commitment, and that's going to challenge me, and that's going to test my ability to retain all the knowledge of Star Wars that makes me valuable to my employer, first of all, but also just makes, I mean, Star Wars just so pervasive in my mind. Actually, I got one right here. Yeah, I got the road test version of the Missile Command game that I opened a few weeks ago. I'm not going to open it today because I've really got to get going. I've got stuff that I want to do today. I've got to replace a light fixture over my head here. I've got to keep bumping into. Yeah. Have you guys ever seen me do that? Because it's something I do all the time on this show. It's like this thing right here. Like here's my head. And the bottom of this light fixture is legitimately at eye level for me, and I run into this thing. Like one time I did it 3 times in a day, like a week or 2 ago, and I was so pissed. Yeah, that's true too. I do have like 1943, 1942. I don't think I've opened either one of those yet. I basically have all of them past a certain point, but I think I'm done. I don't have room for the ones that I've got, so I'm not going to be buying any more anytime soon. Oh yeah, Fanatic, were you there? Were you there? Were you standing next to me when Andy Serkis showed up? That's right. Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, that was a really good day. Do they? I haven't really paid much attention yet lately, and I'll tell you why. Because if I did, I'd buy them. Every time I go to Weta's website, I get in trouble. Like days later, like the staff of Gandalf will show up at my door. I don't know, it's dangerous for me. One of my first loves is Star Wars is right there, but almost on a par with it is my love of Lord of the Rings, and it's a very dangerous world for me to go into, the Weta collectibles page. Yeah, what's up with that? What is up with that? I was frustrated by that just the other day. I was trying to find something that happened in an episode of I think Clone Wars, and I couldn't remember which episode it happened in. So every episode that I jumped into, I had to scroll back to the beginning of the show. That just seems like a no-brainer. That's something they should probably look into. That would do it. That would do it. Yeah, kids. My ex-wife had a saying, and she uttered it at every available opportunity. Kids ruin everything. Except old age. They don't ruin your old age, I would imagine. Some kids probably do. Oh, Helen Deal. I don't know. Again, you guys can talk about Weta stuff amongst yourselves because I really don't have anything to contribute there. I used to have a lot of Weta stuff, and now I have very little. Dude, so much cursing. So much cursing. The dogs flee the room. Oh, well, Dobby does. Piper's just like, I can't see what's happening, but it feels like it's going to kill me. Oh, this is accurate. This is accurate. Go to Sideshow and check out some New Wave cabs because, yeah, they're probably... Oh, yeah, New Wave is really, really pushing stuff. They, I'm worried about New Wave because they seem to have slowed down their momentum. And I think that they needed to slow their roll because, for financial reasons. I think that they were just pushing things a little bit too far. I've seen it happen with fledgling companies. Remember what happened to Chronicle Collectibles? They just had these great big ideas and they just really dove all into every license that they could. And at the end of the day, they ran out of cash. I was worried I wasn't going to get paid, but they came through. Yay, COVID. COVID stimulus. Yay. Anyway, guys, I've got stuff to do here. I've got donuts to eat. I've got dogs to take outside before they decide to pee and poop. So I should probably go ahead and call it a day. It's been fun as always, and plan on me being here next week doing something. Again, I don't have anything coming in until the end of the month. So again, like with Connor, if you're looking for an unboxing, don't come tomorrow. I probably won't have anything to unbox unless I would decide to open a replicate. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, that was something. That was something. Oh, Polly, you are here. Yeah. Sorry for the burn. yeah, that's too bad. That was really going to be something. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, thanks, Polly, for thanks for the kind words. Yeah, John, you have a good weekend too, and thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been fun as always. Was that blue? I thought that was beta. I'll see you on YouTube. Desmond, pleasure as always. AJ, you're awesome. Patrick, John, Bad Wolf. See you guys later. All right. I'm legitimately trying to find out where I put the button to shut this damn thing down. There it is. Oh, it's hiding behind Brandy Wood's Etsy page. It's all Brandy's fault. Later, everyone.